roast, and we're doing numbers, man. Good job, Morning Roast. Sock it to me. Hey. Yee!
I wonder if Ron Adams ever bumps Larry June. I wonder what type of music Ron Adams does have in his car. Or does he just listen to podcasts? Does he listen to us? I don't know. But Ron Adams on the line here, and we'll get him on in just a second, as this is a Warriors Wednesday brought to you by Conquer PD. Look forward to competitive salary, full benefits, and annual incentives. Take the first step and contact a recruiter today by visiting www.joinconquerpd.com. And if you want to go to Game 3 against the Sacramento Kings, or, I know we call it Chase Center, but up in Sacramento, they're calling it the dental office. Say it's overrated. Well, hopefully they'll get a root canal Game 3. But we're giving away a pair of tickets to the Warriors' first home playoff game of the year tomorrow. So you want to listen all day long. Each show will give out a keyword, and you will need all three keywords to win. So make sure you're listening all day tomorrow for a chance to win. Let's bring in Ron Adams, longtime assistant with the Golden State Warriors. He's known for his defensive prowess. We love Ron here in the Bay Area. Ron, good morning. How refreshed are you, Ron, after going through that turbulent regular season to get ready for an actual playoff series? It feels like it's been a long, long season. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. Good morning to you, too.
Good morning. Good morning. I know you're refreshed with the playoffs here coming up. Big series against the Sacramento Kings. We're seeing some old friends and Mike Brown, Leandro Barbosa and company. Just looking at the Warriors' defense the last 2 weeks, I know they have the number 3 overall defensive rating since March 29th. Has there been a big-time improvement from what we saw for most of the regular season?
Well, I think we've had our moments when we've been good defensively, more so at home. The last 2 games were both good defensive games for us, but we played 2 rosters that were pretty depleted. But having said that, I think there were 2 must wins that we had to get, and that happened. But I think we have to obviously play great defense in the playoffs. We've always been capable of doing that. I think Wiggins' return can help in that regard. Gives us a longer athletic player who is a fine defender. So hopefully those things will come together defensively.
How do you get him up and running to get ready for like the speed of the game and things like that? Like, I know you guys are playing, I'm sure, 5-on-5s and whatnot, but how do you guys know that he's ready to go for these games and for just the speed and physicality that's going to be there for the playoffs?
Well, yeah, we scrimmage, he's doing 5-on-5 work and so on, but Rick Celebrini, the head of our health group, is in charge of that, and I think just from my vantage point, I think Wiggs has come back pretty strong, looks good on the court, but it's Rick's judgment as to where he is. We're going to do some scrimmaging the next couple of days too, but I think the moment will also really focus Wiggs, and hopefully we'll see a good version of him. But it's a legitimate point. It's not simple to be away from the rhythm of the game and then be thrust into it again and perform at a really high level. Steph's always been pretty good at that.
Right.
He's pretty unusual in that regard, but he's been
longtime assistant coach with the Golden State Warriors.
Seamless.
In his nice season with the Golden State Warriors, Ron Adams does a great job with them defensively. We were talking defense here. What makes Sacramento so deadly offensively? Historically, in the regular season, they put us on historic numbers offensively. What makes them so deadly? Is their dribble drive penetration? Is it their 3-point shooters? What makes them so lethal on the offensive end?
I think Mike is running some really good offensive wrinkles, sets, movements. I think that's one thing, but they're a really connected team. And he skillfully used Sabonis, who is, a 0.5, moves around the court a lot. They'll post him some, but he's not playing from the block that much. They may post him a bit more against us, but he gets there in different ways when he does want to post, but he's on the perimeter. He's orchestrating their offense. He's passes the ball really well. He keys their dribble handoffs. But I think the structure coupled with the fact that this is a highly, highly connected team, they are motivated. They like each other. I think they have a really high character team. A lot of like-minded people on that team. And Mike has been able to pull the right strings and develop the culture that I think he hoped he could develop. And it's come to fruition for him.
Hey, Coach, I've been hearing you on this station for a long time, and we love listening to you all the time. I don't know much about you. Do you like fried chicken or filet mignon? Like, if you had to choose between one or the other, which one are you going with?
Fried chicken and filet mignon.
Yep.
What if I told you neither one of them are that high on my list, although I like fried chicken.
Are you a salmon guy?
I'm a fish guy. I like different foods, not necessarily meat-oriented. I still eat meat. I grew up on a farm, so we ate meat like crazy.
Really?
Probably had gout at one time even, so I try to back off of the meat thing for a number of reasons. But I like, to me, something as simple as a great salad or a good omelet, or I could go down the list. I love beans. Fortunately, I like a lot of things that people don't like to eat when they're prepared well. But yeah, I eat most of everything. But
I like that.
I like that type of diet.
Yeah, a little feta always makes a good salad. So if you could only play one musical album for the rest of your life, what would that album be?
I can't answer that, because if it was only one album, it would be completely boring, even if it was the artist I loved the most.
Who's that?
I can't give you one. I mean, from the 60s, I like Jackson Browne and, James Taylor and a whole host of female vocalists. And, there's many people I like. But the great thing about music, I mean, I like classical music. I like Afrobeat. I can go down the list. The thing about music is the variety of it, how it picks you up, the mood that different music brings to you. So to me, that's the importance of music. I love all sorts of music, not bad music.
Yeah.
I don't like, there's some rap I like, some artists, and then others are, I don't like at all. I mean, it's this variety, I think, that keeps us sharp and, hones our senses more than just like one drum beat, right?
Yeah, no, that's why I like talking to you, Ron. You're a man full of wisdom. Man full of wisdom, no doubt about that. Ron Adams, assistant coach here on 95.7 The Game. All right, we're talking defense here. You brought up Wiggins, and I like the growth of Jonathan Kuminga, something we could get to in a second, because I think he is an X factor. But what about Klay Thompson? We were discussing Klay Thompson, and a lot of people pinpoint his defense. Maybe he's not the same defender that he was before the injuries, but where has he been at defensively, especially as of late?
I think lately he's been okay. He's had kind of an up and down defensive season, but he has shown that he can play at a high level defensively still. And I think the playoffs have always brought the best out in Klay. We've asked him to do different things, not only guard smaller players at times, but also guard bigger players. He's guarded some fours this year. And so I think, as I said, the playoffs always bring out the best in him. And I do think perhaps he's dropped off a bit defensively at times, but then he shows that he can do it. So I don't even want to go there. I don't know if I completely believe that statement. I think when Klay's highly motivated, he's a really fine defender. So
there it is, and he should be motivated for this postseason run. How far away do you think this team is from being a championship caliber defense? I remember last year you joined us right after you guys won a championship. You said it, and it stuck with me, Rod. We may have overachieved this year by winning this championship, maybe a year ahead of schedule. So how far are they away this year from being that championship team, you think?
I think we'll see.
No doubt. Time will tell. Time will tell.
See, as the Buddhists say. But I think that we have a lot of good basketball before us, and connectivity is important for us. That hasn't always been a smooth plane this year for us. I think the playoffs bring out the best in everyone. I think the playoffs bring out a teamness, a subjugation that says I'm going to work for my teammate. The goal is now more defined. One opponent, and that's what I think we'll see in our team. And so if that happens, and if we continue along that route, I think we're going to be a really fine team. Let's face it, with this team, they think they can beat everyone
right
they play. We have vast experience in achieving greatly with 4 of our guys on the team. Jordan last year, I'll throw into that mix too, who is integral in us winning a championship. So Dante has been on the championship team. So I like the variety of mindsets that we have, and they know what it takes, the core group, and I'll never bet against them.
Ron, when I look at the team, you've obviously got the headliners, Steph, Klay, Dre, those guys. Jordan Poole now is trying to become one of those guys. But I look at the glue guys like Kevon Looney, Dante DiVincenzo, who you referenced, Gary Payton. Like, those guys have brought so much to the table this year. Can you just kind of emphasize from a coach's perspective what those guys mean to the overall team ethos?
Well, these are glue people. Gary, who's just getting going again, he's only played a few games for us, is going to lend a lot to our team defensively, but also Gary's a timely scorer, but he also has the ability to make the simple pass that leads to a score, not necessarily the assist, but he's really good at getting the ball to people and then, helping the dominoes fall offensively. Dante has really been good this year as far as providing us with great spark, just a really diligent player who doesn't give up on plays. He's always pursuing on a play, and recently has turned a couple of games around, key games for us, simply by his hustle. And who else did you mention? My old brain is missing the third person.
Well, he had Kevon in there. He had DiVincenzo, GP2, Kuminga.
How can I forget Looney? Looney is our anchor, I think, as much as anyone on our team right now. He does things game after game after game, frees his teammates up for shots. Tremendous rebounder this year. Mm-hmm. As with Jordan, played 82 games, which is remarkable. Few people do anymore. And I think, as Steve has said, I think he's our moral compass also. Just represents, I think, everything you want in a basketball player at this level. Doesn't get a lot of attention from people because he's just a workman who does his job and really picks up his teammates. So those 3 people that we mentioned, too, are going to be huge moving forward. So,
no doubt about that. Ron Adams here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game. Last one for you here, DeAaron Fox. What makes him such a special point guard? Is it his quickness? Is it his ability to get to the rim? Is it improved jump shot? What have you seen from DeAaron Fox this year as he made the All-Star team for the first time in his career?
I think all of those things, but at the foundation stone is he's probably the fastest guy in the league, with the ball. Just tremendous speed. But more than that, I think he plays with a really, we use come around here a lot, but I think he plays with joy. He's a happy player. You know, he likes being out there. He, not too much gets him off his game. I like his attitude. I like how he approaches the game. And I think the speed factor, and it's always about who you are as a human being, right?
Yep.
That really gets you over the top or holds you back for all of us, and we try to modify our rough edges and streamline ourselves. But I think for him, that's a real strength. He has improved skill-wise. I think he shoots the ball better, although he's still erratic. But his short game is brilliant. It's a short pull-up game. Even though the analytics people don't like that, but I think it's a huge part of his game, and I think it's a huge part of their success. So, and he's a bear in transition. We have to devote more than one person to him to stop him in transition and their offensive transition. So that makes him so tough. But I have a lot of respect for him. I've enjoyed watching him grow up over the years.
No doubt.
Ron, what do you think is the most underrated aspect of this year's Warriors team from your perspective?
Underrated. I think for some of the shorter lineups we put on the court, we're a surprisingly good rebounding team, even offensive rebounding at times. We're a really good offensive team. If we can keep our turnovers down, we become brilliant offensively. When we don't, we lose some of the luster of a really brilliant offensive team. And defensively, we simply have to get better and, play with the consistent energy. As you guys know, you say it probably on your broadcast, the playoffs are very different animal, and it's possession by possession. Every possession is important. So I think that's the mentality we want defensively. But I think our rebounding has been a bit surprising, to me at least at times. Dante, Gary now coming back. These are smaller players who really rebound the ball well. And Klay's been a bit better. Steph is a tremendous rebounder. Oh. Probably pound for pound our best rebounder. So I would answer that question in that way.
Nah, you're right about Klay Thompson grabbing the glass. I thought he's done a wonderful job on the boards this season. Kevon Looney, you mentioned, it's been unbelievable. 35 games where he's had 10-plus rebounds, led the league in offensive rebounding in all the association. Ron, we can't wait for Saturday, man. I know you're ready to roll. Good insight there on the Sacramento Kings and what you guys have done well defensively. And we'll see you back at Chase Center for Game 3. We'll be watching from afar down here in the Bay Area when you guys head up to Sacramento. Good stuff, Ron.
You guys keep up the good work. I always have great admiration for people who can talk all day, because I know how tiring talking and actually making sense.
Well, Ron, let's be honest here. We don't make a lot of sense from 6 to 10 a.m. I try to make sense on television, but that's why I lean on Chris Mullen and Festus Ezeli. I don't make much sense, and I think people get tired of hearing me. So I'm glad that you appreciate it, Ron.
There's a gift to what you guys do, and there's a certain stamina, and I see it and respect it, so keep it up.
I mean, Ron, how many people can ask you, do you like fried chicken or filet mignon? Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, this is why I'm who I am.
That was a hell of a question.
You learn a lot about a man
I wanted
dish.
to get into red wine because I know you're a big wine drinker, but we could do that later. We can do it at a later time.
You guys be well. Have a great day.
Have a good
You
one,
too,
Coach.
All right, Rod Adams here on the Morning Roast.